Babe,
Yes?
aren't you supposed to do a toy review today?
Don't worry. I got this. I'm ordering it right now.
Isn't that going to take time to get here?
Oh, I also got that figured out. Smoking sucks.
Smoking is bad for you.
Thanks, hon.
You have mail.
Come get that. Is this the package you ordered?
I told you it would get here on time. Kept you waiting, huh?
In the world of video games, only one game series reigns supreme when it comes to stealth, action, and espionage: Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain features the story of Venom Snake, aka Big Boss, and after going through 60 hours of this excellent game, I just had to have Venom Snake as an action figure. When I found out that he was made by Revoltech, I was hesitant to buy him as I did not have a good experience with Revoltechs in the past. Taking the plunge, did Revoltech learn their mistakes, or are they still living with their own phantom pain? Let's find out.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us once again on the D-Star01 channel. I'm your host, Dexter Rapulus, and today we're going to look at a figure by several companies put into one, but for the sake of this video, we're going to refer them as Revoltech. So today we'll be looking at one of my favorite characters, Venom Snake, from Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. To be honest, I was hoping for Figma to make this figure, as Solid Snake was a really good release, because Revoltechs I've just had broken joints and it's just not good, and I was very hesitant to purchase this figure. But since he looks so cool and I really like the Phantom Pain, I just had to get him. So today, let's see if the Revoltech Venom Snake is worth your money.
At first glance, you can tell that this figure has a lot of things going on with him, so let's break him down one step at a time. Starting with his overall finish, he has a deep matte finish throughout his sneak suit, which makes a lot of sense considering he needs to always stay hidden. Parts that are not matte in finish are his prosthetic arm and comms unit that is attached to his chest. His sneak suit is super detailed, as you can see, and features wrinkles on his pants and shirt throughout, giving him a dynamic feel and look. His belt features a very game accurate look, as it features his Walkman, canteen, functional holster, pouch, and Fulton pack on the back. Onto his face, this is where I find Venom Snake is not so accurate. This is a very cartoony representation of Venom Snake in my opinion, and comparing his face to the video game, it doesn't quite look like him. This is because of two things. His face is too square, and his left eye is incorrect in terms of shading and detail. Speaking of the eye, it can be articulated by removing his face and using a tool to move it around. A nice feature, but my tool almost broke on me, as his eye was extremely tight. Lucky for me, I have a metal tool that helped me with that. Overall, while his face is lacking in accuracy to the game, I really like his overall look, as everything else is very video game accurate.
So here we are with Venom Snake from Revoltech, and let's talk about scale and articulation. So let's see how tall he is. He stands roughly a little bit under 6.5 inches. And the figure that we're going to compare him to today is no other than the Solid Snake by Figma. Now, as you can see, Venom Snake stands a little bit taller than Solid Snake. And also, he's a little bit wider, which makes me think that Venom Snake's scale is a tad bit bigger. This one has a lot thinner, not broader, but slimmer shoulders, just a slimmer body overall, while his Venom Snake has a bigger face, broader shoulders. He just looks bigger overall. So when you compare these two, it looks like they are not the same scale. So let's talk about articulation. Now, this guy has ratchet joints, and that's pretty exclusive to Revoltech figures. So do I like it? As you can see here, not really, as it limits his movement. Also, I don't like how his legs are spread like that because he can't really stand up perfectly straight, as you can see here. So let's talk about articulation. He has an articulation here on his toe, ratchet joint here on his ankle, not too much of a rocker there. We also have a ratchet joint here on his knee. Now we don't have a ratchet joint on his thigh, as this does have rotation, which is kind of nice. But like I said before, he just doesn't quite close his legs right, and it just looks weird when you stand him like this. So let's talk about his midsection. We have a full articulation here with full rotation on the lower and upper part of his midsection. We have articulation here, which is not a ratchet joint on his wrist. And we have, we have a ratchet joint on his elbow. And let's talk about this. Now this is kind of weird. Look at that. That's just strange. So you can have full arm's length here. Look at this. He can almost hug himself, which is kind of awesome. So you can have him pose with all his guns. But this just looks weird when you pose him like this. When you want that certain pose, let's say you want him to pose just like this or something of this nature, and you just have an exposed joint there, and it just looks weird and awkward. So I don't know, I don't quite like that. I gotta strategically hide it when I do pose him. That's kind of a problem for me. Now let's talk about his neck here. Now he does have a hidden articulation right there, but because he has this collar which moves around on his shirt, it limits his movement to go really left and right, which is kind of disappointing. But you can move his face like that because he does have an articulation here. This is a peg joint, which you can put his face in and then you can move it around. That's kind of disappointing that you can't really move his neck around because of this collar. It's kind of inhibiting that movement. But nonetheless, it gets the job done. You can try to make him look left or right, and that's pretty much it in terms of that. You can barely move left and right, but that's okay. Anyway, another one, last but not least, he has an articulated ponytail, which is kind of cool. So overall, you can articulate him really well, as you can see. You can move him around. That's as far as he gets when it comes to crouching, and it just looks kind of strange. Oh boy, see, look, it's just weird because of the way these joints are. It's kind of cool and it's kind of not. I like the fact that they're trying to do something different, but I don't like that you just can't pose him naturally like I would with the Figma snake. So there you have it. That's his articulation and scale for Venom Snake.
6 extra hands, Serval AMR-7 sniper rifle, 2 bipods for the sniper rifle, G44 bullpup rifle, rifle holder, Windugger silenced tranq pistol, rocket arm, knife, iDroid, phantom cigar, and stand. When it comes to accessories, this figure comes with a lot. First off, I want to advise people what this is. After looking through a lot of YouTube videos and pictures, I finally found out what it does. This attaches to the rifle, which then attaches to the canteen after removing a plug from the canteen. This makes it look like the rifle is slung to him like in the game. On to his guns, I'm not too fond of the choices here as I never used these guns in the game, and I wish he came with the MRS-4 instead of the G44 bullpup, or maybe even came with a rocket launcher instead of the serval sniper, as the serval sniper is a very late gun you get in the game and most people don't even use it. The gun I was very happy to see was the Windugger Trank pistol, as I used this throughout the game and was a very practical choice in including it with the figure. The detail on the guns are plain to say the least and lack paint detail. Where they lack in detail, they serve as functional weapons for Snake. The sniper comes with two bipods, one open and ready for action and the other folded and closed so it can be attached to his back like in the game. The G44 looks okay and has a flashlight attachment, but as I said before, lacks in paint and detail. This also is with his knife, although I am glad that they came with one. Also, all his weapons can be on him, holstered and slung, which is very considerate of Revoltech, as it makes him look very video game accurate. The Phantom Cigar and iDroid, although small, are really nice to have with the figure and are quite detailed, as you can see here. Lastly, his rocket arm is beautifully done and has a metallic silver finish, and I love that this is included with him, as I use this extensively in the game.
Rocket to punch!
I just wish he came with an extra silver hand for extra posing options, whereas the red arm you get 3 extra hands. Let's talk about the box. As you can see here, it fits him quite well and is an awesome addition to this figure. Most people I notice opt not to have the box, as you have to build it, and once you do, it becomes difficult to put back into the original box, as you have to tape and glue it together. As you can see here, I had no problem putting it together, and I'm glad I did so, as I plan to keep this figure for a long time. Accessories is where this figure shines, as you get a vast amount for the money. While the guns lack in paint and detail, I feel that because you get so much accessories with this figure, one can forget the lack of detail in the guns and focus on the overall look of the figure, which is almost close to video game accurate.
So let's break down this figure. The pros are, it looks fantastic in terms of detail in his clothes, the battle belt, and amount of accessories you get with him. That alone is worth the purchase of around $50. Here's what I don't like about him. He doesn't look like Venom Snake when you look at his face, and the way you pose him does not look natural. This is due to the way the joints are constructed. Honestly, I can look past these negatives because he's just a blast to pose with and play with. Oh, I just love it. Therefore, I would give this figure a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Based on your experience playing Metal Gear Solid 5, did you enjoy the game? Did you think it was the weakest in the series? Would that affect your purchase on this figure? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey you! Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Where? Right here, not there, right here. You. And thanks for watching. So, rate, comment, and subscribe. Right here, right there, right here. Yeah.
Articulation and Scale for Venom Snake by Revoltech. So let's break down this figure. The pros are, it looks fantastic and fantastic. Okay, now you can stop that one. Oh my gosh, what the, who says fantastics? Is that even a word?
Who taught you how to spoke?
Taught me how to spoke.